Hi everyone, I'm Kristina. I'm a sustainability specialist at Snowy Hydro.
And I'm Craig. I'm the General Manager of Sustainability at Snowy Hydro.
Snowy Hydro started over 75 years ago, building one power station to generate hydropower, that's power from water, in the Snowy Mountains. Today, we have 8 hydropower stations and we're currently building a 9th.
We also have other power stations across Australia that generate and supply electricity to the national electricity market. That's the network that runs from Queensland to South Australia. And we also have retail and commercial businesses that sell electricity to businesses and households.
Today, we're going to explore something that people often misunderstand about sustainability. Many people think sustainability is only about recycling or climate change.
In reality, it involves a wide range of environmental, social and governance issues, and organisations constantly have to make decisions about where to focus their time, attention and investment.
Today, you'll step into the role of decision makers for an energy company. To do this, we're going to do an activity. You'll need to weigh up options, convey your thoughts on the topic to your group, and have discussions on where you'll focus your resources.
In the activity, each group will receive 20 blocks. These blocks represent a company's limited time, effort and funding. You'll need to consider the different sustainability topics such as climate planning, biodiversity, community engagement and worker safety. Your task is to decide how to distribute your 20 blocks across these topics. The more blocks a topic gets, the more time, people or money it receives to make it successful.
But before you can do that, you'll need to know a bit about each topic you'll be considering. We're going to talk you through them now, but don't worry, you'll also have them written down to refer back to during the activity.
The first group is about climate. Climate risk planning involves identifying, assessing and managing both physical risks, for example storms, floods and heat waves, and transition risks, for example policies, market shifts, that may affect whether people want to buy your product or service or affects its cost. Addressing climate risks help build organisational resilience.
Emissions target reduction is setting science-aligned, time-bound emission reduction targets to reach net zero by 2050, focusing on Scope 1, that's direct emissions, Scope 2, that's energy, and Scope 3, that's supply chain emissions.
Investment in renewable energy allows us to provide renewable electricity to our customers. This enables businesses to reduce emissions, enhance sustainability credentials, and reduce exposure to future price volatility.
And we also consider investment in renewable energy storage. This is a key strategic move for business sustainability, enabling emission reductions, improved environmental, social and governance performance, and long-term energy cost savings.
The next group we'll consider is environment. We'll start with water management. This means reducing consumption, maximising efficiency and reusing water to lower costs and environmental impact.
Biodiversity and land management is important too. Many businesses rely on nature for resources, and it's important we protect those for future generations.
We consider waste and materials. The move to durable, sustainable, recyclable and reusable materials reduces environmental pollution, reduces the volume of waste going to landfill, and helps avoid contamination at recycling facilities.
As well as climate and environment, we think about people and communities too. That's our next group. Community and Indigenous engagement means working closely with local communities and Indigenous communities to explore mutually beneficial investment, employment and business opportunities.
Local jobs, skills and training supports local communities by investing in local education programs and training to support social and economic resilience in the area the business operates in.
Worker health, safety and well-being is incredibly important to Snowy Hydro. It means proactively managing physical and psychosocial risks to create a safe, respectful and productive work environment.
Responsible business is the last category, and this means being a good corporate citizen. It involves providing reliable and affordable electricity to our customers. This also considers how we reduce our carbon footprint to provide low emissions electricity to our customers, minimising our operational costs, and making sure we're competitive in the energy market.
Considering modern slavery and child labour in supply chains requires actively identifying, preventing and mitigating modern slavery and child labour through rigorous due diligence supplier mapping and transparent reporting.
Data, reporting and transparent communication is always on our minds. Common data points include greenhouse gas emissions, energy consumption, water usage, waste management, labour practices, diversity and supply chain ethics.
Now you've had a brief introduction, it's time to get into the activity.
There are 2 rules. Firstly, you must only use 20 blocks in total. Secondly, you can allocate blocks to a maximum of 10 topics. This means you'll need to decide both what matters most and how much attention each issue should receive.
In a minute, you'll be divided into groups to decide how you'll allocate those to your company. When you're placing your blocks, here's a few questions you can think about. Why did you prioritize that issue? What risks might arise if it was ignored? And what topics did you choose not to prioritize? And don't worry, these prompts are written down for you too.
Once you're finished, we'll come back to you to talk about your decisions. You're going to pause this video now to do the activity.
Just when organisations think they have a clear plan, something changes. Each group will now receive a curveball scenario. This represents new information that might affect the company.
Your task is to read the scenario and decide, would this change where you placed your blocks? You may move your blocks if you think priorities should change.
We're about to pause again for you to read your curveball and make any changes. As you do this, make sure you take note of what your original allocation was and the changes that you made.
You're going to present the allocations you originally made, your curveball, and then justify where your allocations ended up to the class.
Questions you might like to think about are, what new situation did your group receive? Did you move any blocks after receiving the new information? What changed and why? What did this activity show you about sustainability decision making? Did you find it interesting to hear about how different priorities are chosen depending on the situation? Each business will experience different pressures that influence their decision making again and again.
In real organisations, these decisions involve many different professionals. Engineers design energy systems, scientists and environmental professionals study environmental impacts, data analysts look at emissions and performance, community teams work with local stakeholders, and policy specialists interpret regulations.
That's why sustainability is such an interdisciplinary field, and why STEM careers play an important role in solving these challenges. Today, you've done exactly what many organisations do every day: weigh risks, balance priorities, and make decisions about the future.
We hope you enjoyed the activity, and maybe one day you'll be part of the sustainability team at Snowy Hydro.